Hi, and welcome to our Retired Nomad Adventures.
I'm Retired Rick.
And I'm Daphne, and today we're back home in sunny Southern California, but our video today is going to give you our budget breakdown for our time in Lisbon, Portugal. Right, so we had a total of 28 days in Lisbon, and we're going to take you through all of our costs. We're going to include everything that we spent, right down to stamps for postage. And our budget every month is $5,000, so it's our goal to always try to stay under that $5,000. And we travel the world 1 month at a time, and we take you along with us. And this is always my favorite video to do, to share and to sort of know how we did on our budget.
Hopefully this will help on expenses you might be thinking about that you need, or maybe some expenses that you have to include in your trip. So hopefully this will be a detailed expense report for you, and let's see how we did.
Let's get started. Okay, so we always like to start with our travel costs. So before we were in Lisbon, we were in Portimao, Portugal. So we took a first class train ride from Portimao to Portugal to Lisbon, sorry, and that train ride was about 4.5 hours with the transfer, and the total cost for that was $71. $71, okay.
And that included a stop at Faro train station, and then it took us into Lisbon. So there was another train, same exact price, taking to a different station, but there was 3 stops, I think, on that. So this was the easiest one for us to do, so it worked out good.
And really comfortable. Like, so I'm not sure what the price difference was. I accidentally had just clicked the first class. I'm glad we did. Super comfortable and inexpensive, I think, for both of us for that 4.5 hour ride. Then in addition to that, we had 4 Uber rides. We'll just do all of our transportation here. So in addition to that, we had 4 Uber rides. And
they were under $10 to under $10, so it wasn't bad.
And most of our Uber rides were about 25 minutes. So the train station to our Airbnb was about 25 minutes, and it was just under $10. Oh, I should also say we've converted everything from dollars. Of course, when you're in Lisbon, you're using euros, but for the purposes of today's video, everything has been converted to dollars.
Yep.
So we had that one from the train station to the Airbnb. We had from the Airbnb to the airport when we were leaving. Also about 25 minutes. And then we also had an Uber we had walked to a local mall, and that was 4.5 miles from our Airbnb. And then with our bags and everything, we Ubered back. And that was also about $10.
Yeah, about $10.
So our total cost for, our total cost for transportation expenses was $106.
Not bad at all for a month. So having to get there and leave, so
I guess that explains why the soles were rubbed out on the bottom of your shoes.
A lot of walking.
Yeah, a lot of walking. Okay, so our housing, that's probably our largest expense, and this month we got a 20% discount for our 28-day stay. So we choose 28 days for 2 reasons. One is that you are eligible for that month discount if you're 28 days or longer, but then the other is whenever we're in the Schengen zone, we know that we only have 90 days. So by cutting it short 2 days every 30 days, that gives us a 6-day cushion at the end, and so it feels like that 28 days is the sweet spot for us.
Kind of works out good. You don't have to stress about delays in flights or anything like that. So
yeah, if anything like that happened, we'd be okay. We had that little bit of cushion. Okay, so our total cost for our beautiful Airbnb, it was really very comfortable, felt very much like home. It was a 1-bedroom, 1 bath with a bathtub, which we loved. It had little Juliet balcony, and also a nice dining room that we used as an office.
Right, as an office.
Yeah, comfortable couch, comfortable bed, like really fully equipped kitchen. So that Airbnb cost us for an entire month was $1,619.
Not bad at all. It was actually our cheapest stay on the 5 months that we've been gone. So that was our cheapest stay.
And significantly cheapest.
Yes.
So it was the smallest discount that we got, but we were also at the end of the shoulder season, I think.
Right.
So it was our smallest discount, and most of our Airbnbs were costing us like $2,100, $2,200, and this one was only $16, and it was very comparable with all of the others, and so I feel like that was a really nice savings.
Yes, it was nice. You felt at home.
So we also did something unusual during this stay. We decided we were going to take advantage. We use our Amex card for our points, so our Platinum Amex, and one of the benefits we were going to lose was our $200 Fine Hotels credit, because it's coming near the end of the year. So we thought, why don't we go stay the night in a hotel? Even though we have our Airbnb, why don't we go stay the night in the hotel and treat it like it's an excursion? Yeah.
And That's what we did. We treated it just like an excursion.
It was so nice. So we stayed at, the name of the hotel was Palace Ludovice, and it's a wine experience hotel. So we got a beautiful room with nice plush robes. They gave us a bottle of wine in the room, a nice fruit bowl. They also sent up a bottle of sparkling wine later. So that was 2 bottles of wine in the room, fruit in the room. They gave us a $100 hotel credit. Amex gave us a $200 Amex credit. We also got free breakfast and free wine tasting when we were there. So the $100 hotel credit bought us dinner and also drinks at the bar later. We got the wine tasting, which was great, and then breakfast was fantastic. So
it was a good night out.
Yeah, so it felt great. So total, what ended up coming out of our pocket for that, once we got the $200 credit back from Amex, was $160. Yeah. So that was a really nice excursion.
Couldn't pass it up, so it was really nice.
Yeah, and that was in the Barrio Alta area, which was a different area than what we were staying in, so it was also nice to go wander around there and get a sense of a different area of Lisbon.
And we'll show a video of, later on, we'll show a video of that hotel. And in case you're interested, you can
do a review. We'll do a whole separate video where we do a review of that experience, because it really was a nice way to go. You'll see we had some other excursions, and that was actually cheaper than some of our other excursions, and we liked all of them equal but different. So the total for housing, so $1,619 for our Airbnb, and then $160 for that Amex experience, and so that was $1,779.
Yeah, not bad at all.
No, that was great. Okay, so now this is the part that got me into real trouble. So our dining out. So we dined out a total of 21 times.
So we dined out a total of 21 times, and also 15 times of coffee, pastries, and little snacks here and there. So
that's a lot, right? Like 21 times for dinner and lunch, or dinner or lunch, and then 15 additional times for tasty treats.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Okay, so the total for that, I mean, that's a lot of dining out, and we didn't hold back at all. And so the total for that was $946. Eeks.
Hey, it was worth it.
Yeah, and our most expensive meal was our second meal that we had when we were there, and it was in one of those really touristy places, you know, where the guy's out with the menu and there's pictures on the menu, and he talks to you as you go by and tries to entice you into the restaurant. Day 2, we were enticed very easily, so we sat down. We shared.
It was actually a very good meal. The meal ended up costing close to $100. It was high 90s or something like that, but the meal was fantastic. We had a rice,
like a seafood rice for 2.
Rice. We had an appetizer of some shrimp, and we both had drinks, and it was
delicious.
Yeah, we met some people there. So, and
the atmosphere, because you're sitting out in the middle of kind of everything, so you got to. It was just like a lively atmosphere. We enjoyed the couple who were next to us, and also did some people watching. So no regrets. No regrets on that. And our cheapest meal was at Josephine's.
It was fantastic. It was just comfort food. It was really nice. It was soup, sandwich, and some drinks and some French fries. So
Josephine's was really close to our Airbnb, so we would have to pass it when we were going anywhere or when we were coming home. So often if we were out and we couldn't make a decision, we would say, let's just stop at Josephine's. And Josephine's always had a soup of the day. And so the soup of the day was only €2, so just a little over $2. And so we would both get our own soup. We would share a nice big sandwich, and then we would share an order of fries, and we would have 2 drinks each, if we're being honest. And that whole meal cost us about $22.
Yeah,
so you couldn't beat that. So that was our cheapest meal. Let's see. What would you say was your favorite meal?
It was hard because I really didn't have a favorite meal here, because I liked all the fish dishes. They were all just the grilled fish. So I can't pick one. So any of the fish dishes.
It's funny that you say that, because for me, like every place we've been, I've had a favorite meal. Like it's been very distinct. And the same thing for me. Like anything that was, I got a lot of pasta and shrimp, and shrimp was sort of the big deal thing for me. Yeah. So any of the pasta and shrimp dishes, and I don't think we had a bad meal.
Well, actually, going back, I mean, I was just now thinking is the 2EU. restaurant we went to with the garlic shrimp with some bread and some rice to soak up the juices from the garlic shrimp was fantastic. So I'd have to
say that was it.
That was my favorite.
Well, and that was the restaurant we took you to a couple of videos ago. If you came with us on our Spend the Day with Us in Lisbon, you'll get to see that. That was So, but I liked it all. So so there wasn't a favorite one, and I would say our typical meal, if we got a meal each and then a drink each, or drink or two each, was anywhere from $35 to $45, and that was all day long. You could get great meals for that.
Yep. Yeah, you didn't have to go hunt for them. It was just right there.
Yeah. And then whenever we got our snacks, our typical snacks was a couple of coffees and then a couple of pastel donadas, and that was about $10.
Right.
So anytime we'd stop for that, that's what that cost. Okay, so our grocery costs aren't that high this month because we ate out so much, but we went to the grocery store 17 times.
17 times, and we spent a total of $386 roughly.
Yeah, so...
that's not too bad. It's about typical, but we
a little less than normal.
We didn't cook in as much as we usually do, so.
No, but I did make one of the recipes. So there was a potato. It was an abras, cod abras dish that had potatoes and cod and egg, and so one of our tour guides gave me the recipe for that. So I made that in one night. That was really nice.
That was really nice.
Yeah, and mostly when we ate in, we had fish. You had breakfast in the Airbnb every
morning
single day.
we make breakfast.
And then mostly we ate out a lot. Okay, so personal care. So we had a total of $162 for personal care, and probably the biggest piece of that was your tennis shoes. Yeah, I forgot about that. So Rick definitely wore the soles of his tennis shoes out, and so we needed to buy some new shoes. So we went to the mall for that. And then in personal care, of course, we had like shampoo and conditioner. I had to replace some makeup, some lotions, typical basic stuff.
Yeah,
but
replacement stuff.
You also got 2 haircuts when we were there, and so that's included in that.
The first haircut cost about $12. We weren't really looking around, and the second haircut next to our Airbnb was only $6. So.
Yeah, and both of them were great. Yeah. That first one, we were desperate because when we were in Portimao, there really weren't that many barbers, and we thought we were going to go to a barber when we got to Lisbon. You were waiting for that. That was there the last time we were there.
No longer there.
But he was no longer there, so we found another one close to that. So that was a little more expensive than the €5 or $6 one, but both of them were great. Okay, entertainment. So we had a total of $372 for entertainment. Now, we could have put that hotel experience here, but we put it in with housing. We went on 2 full day. I mean, like we left at 8 o'clock in the morning and didn't get back till 6:30 at night. Full day excursions. The first one we went to Óbidos, Fatima, and Nazarene. And that was really interesting. All of those places were so different. We booked that through Viator, and we just walked down about, I don't know, half a mile from our Airbnb, met them. They picked us up, and I would highly recommend it. It was such a different experience.
What's really nice is we didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to plan anything. We just go online, book it, and they took care of everything else. So it was nice to have somebody talk to us and tell us what was going on, and we just sat back and relaxed.
Just in somebody else's hands. We didn't have to plan or think or do anything.
Yeah, it was nice.
Even the food there, like we had lunch there, and it was delicious. It was. We'll insert a picture of the meal that we had there. That was great. Okay, so we highly recommend that day trip. And then the other day trip we took was, we kept hearing over and over again, you have to go to Sintra, you have to go to Sintra, and we knew we wanted to go visit Cascais. And so there was a tour that did both Sintra, the Pena Palace, and Cascais together. So we went on that. Also an excellent.
Fantastic. We were thinking about doing it on our own, taking the train over there and just figuring it out on our own. I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah, I would recommend you go on a tour.
Yeah, we had someone just guide us again, and even on the train or on the van ride over there, we were learning information about
the history
and everything. So it was nice.
Yeah, it was really great. And so I don't know that we could have navigated ourselves. I know we couldn't have navigated ourselves around as well on our own for this particular tour. Now, you could have taken yourself to Cascais. We could have gone to Cascais on our own. That would have been easy. But we got to do it all in one day with one tour, and that was fantastic. So both of those tours, each of them were $177 for both of us. So then we had a total, like I said, of $372 for our entertainment. entertainment costs. Okay. And let's see, miscellaneous. So we have our typical, so we always send a postcard home, and so postcard and postage. And then I needed a watch battery when we were there, and the watch battery was only €5. So that was great.
Fantastic.
If I was going to get a watch battery here, I'd take it to the local jeweler, and it'd be about $13. So that was a nice cost savings.
And then, as we were walking, we both had to use the restroom, so we went into the train. I think it was
a train station. Oh no, a ferry station.
A ferry station, and who knew? But cost €1. So we spent €2 to use the restroom.
It was money well spent. We both had to go, so it was money well spent. And that isn't the case all across Lisbon, or even that's not even necessarily typical in Portugal. But there are some instances where you need to pay to use the restroom. So just be sure to keep a couple euros with you at all times, just in case. Okay, so those are our expenses that we incurred while we were actually. That's our day-to-day kind of thing.
Right.
But then we have our recurring costs back at home.
Right, and we all our recurring costs is about $490, and that includes all our subscriptions, our credit card membership fees that we
spread out over the year.
We pay it once a year, but we spread it out over the year. Vehicle insurance, vehicle tags, and
life insurance
policies that we have, and I think that's pretty much
registration,
it.
Insurance, like that kind of thing.
Stuff. So all the stuff that are constantly going that we have to pay unless we get rid of the things that we have here. But right now we're going to keep those recurring costs. And
does that include the cell phone, or the cell phone is?
No, the cell phone is separate. The cell phone is $100 that we pay with T-Mobile, and we haven't had any issues whatsoever.
Actually, this is a great video to talk about that. So we were gone for almost 5 months, out of the country, and so we were really concerned that we might get an alert at about 90 days saying, hey, you should be back in the United States now. We're not going to allow you to continue. Now we had to connect to Wi-Fi whenever we couldn't use the Wi-Fi. We had 5 gigabytes of data. Is that what we say?
Yeah,
5 gigabytes of data each, and we never used more than one.
We always turned off our cellular data unless we needed to use it for an Uber or for directions or something like that. And then we turned it on, and we just never exceeded the 5 gigabytes. And what really helped us is traveling around when we're at Wi-Fi. I was able to download download an offline map.
Yeah.
And then you're able to use that offline map when you don't have cellular service, and it worked perfect. We never got lost, and we always knew where we were at.
Well,
so
and we looked like
really
typical tourists all the time. Like we had to have the phone in front of us, and we would walk, with the phone out. But we used it all the time, and it is crazy that those offline maps didn't use any data at all.
No data at all, and I was surprised that we were gone for 5 months, and we never had to pay extra for our cell phone, and we didn't have to buy an international plan or anything like that. We just used what our typical cell phone bill was.
So that worked out beautifully. So the total there, so our recurring costs are $490, and then the cell phone was $100. So all of that included. So remember, our budget for the month is $5,000, and so our drum roll here is that our total costs for the month were
$4,364.38. So
I can't believe it. Yeah. I thought that Lisbon, in my mind, Lisbon was going to be the most expensive place that we went to, but actually we were the most under budget here in Lisbon, and I felt like we did the most.
It seemed like we did more. We ate out more. We didn't worry about stuff. But it does help when the Airbnb. When the Airbnb is like $600 cheaper.
Yes.
Because obviously, we were $635.62 under budget. So with our Airbnb being cheaper, that's where we were under.
And we spent well over $500 on activities this month, but it really seemed like we didn't do anything on activities if you compare it to previous months. But we definitely weren't expecting to come in that much under budget. And we would have eaten some cheese sandwiches at the end if we were close to budget. But we didn't. We didn't have to. And we knew Rick has that travel spend app that we use every single day, so that we knew every day that we were doing really well. Yeah. So
and what's also nice is along with the travel spend app that I use, I also have a currency app, free currency app app, and what that does is gives you an idea of what something may be. You can put €5 in, and whatever the denomination is, it'll tell you in American dollars or pounds or euros, whatever it is, and that's really helpful because you know where you stand with your money.
Yeah. So that's super exciting. And so we may do a video while we're home kind of detailing what our total savings was this entire time and sort of some of the lessons learned from our first go round of these nomad adventures. We haven't quite decided that yet, but we do hope that you'll join us next week where we real-time packed up everything with you, and we told you what worked and what didn't and what things we got rid of and what things we're super glad we had. But so we do a real-time pack up with you and share everything that was smart and that was silly.
Exactly.
And so we hope you join us next week, and thank you for joining us for today's Retired Nomad Adventures, and we're excited to have you, and as always, bye.